So it's Tuesday. I don't know what day of the readathon this is. 11 or something. Gosh, that means it's almost over. I haven't read any more of Dumplin', but I have been reading The Slippery Slope by Lemony Snicket, which is the 10th book in the series of Unfortunate Events. I'm hoping to finish Dumplin' off by the end of the week. These books don't take me very long to read. I knocked most of this one over in a day, so hopefully it shouldn't be too hard to read The Grim Grotto and also Dumplin' by the time our Crate-a-thon is over. Okay, so it is now Sunday, which means the Crate-a-thon is officially over, but I have a few extra hours because of the time difference. I haven't finished Dumplin' yet, but I've nearly finished it. During the course of the week, I finished The Slippery Slope by Lemony Snicket, which is book 10, and I watched the first 2 episodes of season 3 of the series, and it was really good. I really liked that all of the clues, like the Snicket file and the sugar bowl, started to play a big part in the story in this book, but the only thing is I don't remember the sugar bowl being mentioned in any of the other books. I know that the Snicket file was mentioned in book 8, but I don't remember when the sugar bowl was introduced. So my only frame of reference for that is the TV show, which has made the sugar bowl a running theme for much longer than the books did. So that was a little bit confusing. I understood, but only because I remembered what had happened in the show, and I don't really remember what happened in the book of The Carnivorous Carnival. I nearly flipped back through it, but I thought, no, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so that was a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought that was really good. The episodes for it were really good as well. They made a few changes which made it a little more logical, although climbing up a waterfall with forks still is very far-fetched. Okay, I just had to move the camera because my arm was getting extremely sore. So my second and final read for the Crate-a-thon is Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. I have about 150 pages left to go of this, so I'm going to try and get to that today, but I have quite a few household chores to do as well, so I don't know whether I'll actually be able to finish it or whether I'll have to finish it tomorrow or the next day. But since this vlog isn't going to be very long on its own, I'm going to include next week's reading in it as well. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. I absolutely love Willowdean as a character. I love all of her friends, not Ellen, but Amanda, Emily, and Hannah. I love them all, and I'm actually hella relating to this. Just the trying to have a meaningful conversation with your mother and having her misunderstand your intentions and have it devolve into a fight. I really feel that. Having a brief romantic liaison with someone and feeling like it's not really working for you for whatever reason, and then breaking it off and then having to see them with someone else and regretting it and feeling like maybe you've done something extremely wrong and you should have been a better person or a better girlfriend or whatever. I feel that. I just wanting to be first at something or for someone or in someone's life, not because you need the validation, but because it would be nice. I also really feel that. So I'm just enjoying this tremendously so far, and if I do get a chance to sit down and read at all today, I probably will be able to finish this off because I'm just flying through it at this point. Yeah, so it's really good. I have decided to keep Amber and Dusk at a 3 stars. Yeah, I'm still mad about the Bury Your Gaze, but I don't know. I didn't rage quit Game of Thrones even though it buried its gaze, and it did that in the worst way possible, which was religious persecution. Wow, talk about hitting too close to home. There have been a lot of instances where this has happened, but I've enjoyed the series for much more than the fact that it had gay characters. So their deaths, even though it's a bad trope and it is actively harmful, didn't actually ruin the whole thing for me, and I can't decide whether that's how it's going to be for this book or not, but I guess it's just going to depend on whether there are any queer characters in the second book, how they're treated, and what kind of ending they get. Until then, I am withholding opinion and judgment beyond what I've already expressed. Yeah, oh god, I just realized I've left my wardrobe door open. Everything is actually a mess in here right now. It probably looks fine, but let me tell you, it is not. Okay, so I've been reading Dumplin' in between doing my, you know, housework things, washing and stuff. And I mentioned it a little bit before that I relate to a lot to what Willow Dean is going through, but something else that I've been experiencing throughout this novel is feeling like Willow Dean and I are very similar, even though we don't actually have a lot in common. Like I don't know, everything feels very familiar about her because, you know, she just feels familiar. And it's just been mentioned in the story that her star sign is Leo, and now everything makes sense. She's navigating life as a Leo and I'm navigating life as a Leo, and this is an experience I am intimately familiar with, and so that's why everything feels familiar. Even if like Willow Dean hasn't known she's a Leo, presumably Julie Murphy has known she's a Leo, and everything feels right. Like I understand now why I feel like we are extremely similar without actually being very similar at all, but it's because we share a star sign, and so yeah. So I said before that there were no queer people in Dumplin', and I completely forgot that the second book, Puddin', is about Millie, who has a crush on a girl. So that's one queer person. And actually, another one of Willow Dean's friends has just come out as queer. I don't know what kind. All I know is that she doesn't like boys romantically or sexually. So, yeah. We're 2 for 2, and neither of them are gonna die, which automatically makes it better than certain other books I could mention. Oh, that's my timer for the washing. Yeah, so I'm actually really enjoying this, and I know I've been saying that all along, but this book is amazing. I can't believe it took me so long to actually read it, and I can't believe I almost didn't read it because I love it. I love it. So I finished reading Dumplin' a couple of days ago, and it was absolutely amazing. And I really loved it, and I gave it 5 stars, and it was so good. Everything about it felt so real, and I loved that Willow Dean especially was so contradictory, but like not in an annoying way. It was in a way that was very real. Like she was totally comfortable with who she was and in her body and the way that she looked, but that didn't mean that she wasn't ever insecure, that she didn't ever wish that she could be different, or that she didn't ever feel negatively towards her body and how it looked. And that was something that I could really relate to, even though I'm not fat. Well, not like Willow Dean. But yeah, I just thought that everything that it dealt with was handled really well, and the like having a stupid fight with your best friend and breaking up over it, and then like wanting to apologize but knowing that too much time has passed and not really knowing quite how to break the ice again, that felt really real for me as well. And there were so many things in this novel that I really related to. So yeah, it was amazing. The book that I read after Dumplin', and which I've just finished, is The Grim Grotto by Lemony Snicket, and holy shit. I have no idea how I read these books as a child and wasn't completely enthralled by them. All of this secret organization shit is exactly my jam, and I was way into spies and spy fiction when I read these last time, and I don't know how they never correlated, like, in my brain back then. It makes no sense. This one was really good, a little bit far-fetched in places, but all of the books are. The reveal about Fiona's brother actually made me like go like, and I had to just take a moment because I totally didn't expect it. And I really am looking forward to watching these 2 episodes of the show, because the way that they've treated that character so far, I think that it's going to make this even more emotional and kind of heart-wrenching, and I'm interested to see where they take it after that. Just based on what happens here, I'm interested to see what direction the episodes of the show take it, because sometimes it does things a little differently, and especially in the last book with this character, they were a lot different than they were in the book, just in a few places, but it was enough to make a big difference. yeah, so I gave this book 5 stars. I'm gonna watch the 2 episodes of the show and then jump straight into The Penultimate Peril. Yeah, last time I read these, I remembered being just so tired of the fact that it constantly tells you to just put the book down, and this one especially waffles on a lot about the water cycle, like precipitation and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know how I didn't fall in love with all of this, like, secret codes and, you know, 2 sides of the one organization, and wow. Anyway, I'm judging my past self. That is my reading for the first part of this week. Our Create-a-thon is over. I didn't get to read Pride by Ibi Zoboi, but as I said in my TBR video, that was just kind of on there just because it fit the challenge, and I wasn't really planning to read it unless I'd read everything else, and I'm not going to read everything else. I'm not going to even attempt to get to Six of Crows or An Unkindness of Ghosts at this point. I've just put them back on my shelves where they usually go, and I will pick them up in the future. So the last book that I read for this vlog is The Penultimate Peril by Lemony Snicket, which is the 12th and second last book in the series of Unfortunate Events series. I really liked it. I gave it a 4 stars. I was really happy with the book. Well, I was really happy with the show episodes as well, but the book kind of reintroduced a character from previously in the series that I thought had been reintroduced in the Grim Grotto, but I was wrong about the names. It's Charles from the Vile Village. He was in Penultimate Peril, and so was Sir. And I was really excited because I love Rhys Darby, who plays Charles in the show, and I was thinking, oh, we're gonna be able to see him again. But Charles and Sir do not reappear in the episodes of The Penultimate Peril. Charles is mentioned, and I actually really like the direction they took that. But unfortunately, we don't get any more Rhys Darby. That's all I have for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.